Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Bank to the Future Live. As usual, we've got Famida here moderating. So if any of you are joining us live, then please do let us know in the comment section that you can hear us okay. Otherwise, I will just keep talking and Famida will interrupt me if there seems to be any issues with everybody hearing okay. So this is episode 8 of Bank to the Future Live. As usual, we'll just wait for a few more people that want to turn up to the live shows. Much more people are obviously watching the recordings, but if you are watching live, then please do like this video, share this video, help us reach more and new audience. And remember, if you're not doing so already, then underneath this video, you'll see the YouTube subscribe button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And remember that if you hit the bell button, it will send you an email notification every time we go live for Bank to the Future Live. So today, I'm just going to pull up my show notes and share some of the things that we're going to go through. As usual, we're going to try and get to some of your questions, and we're going to try and give a bit more time today. I'm just going to give some updates on the latest with Bank to the Future Live, on Bank to the Future rather. We've got quite a few things that have happened this week. One, it's been a tremendously bullish week for Bitcoin, and that's had a knock-on effect on the entire market. So it's really exciting to see the new energy that comes whenever a price spikes. But at the same time, let's not get over optimistic. We don't know where it's going next, but there's just a tremendous amount of energy in our industry at the moment, with the people that were never meant to be here filtered out during the bear markets, and the people that are building and really believe in this technology and the impact it will have in the future of finance still around, and looking forward to both markets really. In the bear market, a lot gets built and you have often a much more pleasurable time with the people that are actually here for the right reasons. And then in the bull market, it's very exciting with new adoption. Obviously, everyone's making money, and when everyone's making money, they get very excited. But from my experience and having dealt with, well, we've got almost 70,000 investors at Bank to the Future now. Most of the wealthy people, they've been investing into the bear markets and making returns into the bull markets, and also having a very long-term vision, because while most people lose money trading short-term, there may be a few of you that do that. Most people make wealth by being a longer-term investor, investing into a particular investment thesis. So as always, we're just going to go through some of the pitches. New pitches live. We have at the moment, for publicly viewable for all members, is Phase. We had about 3 pitches all reach their goals this week. So on the same day, we had congratulations to Abra that closed over $12 million in their funding round. We also had Start Engine who reached their goal, and Trusty closed over the minimum funding goal, but just shy of the full funding goal. And we look forward to seeing where they go next. And we're currently in the process of issuing all the share certificates and everything for those investors that participated in those funding rounds. That leaves just Phase live at the moment. But if you're a BFT token holder and you have a minimum of 10,000 Bank to the Future tokens on your BnkToTheFuture.com account, then you would have also received some additional priority access deals that are only available to BFT token holders. And the latest one, so just to reiterate, we're gradually releasing deals that we're going to be putting on our secondary market for those that want to get in ahead before it actually goes live on the secondary market. In beta, we've already launched Bitfinex SPV trading. So just as a reminder, the way that our secondary market works is that when we invest in a company, we do it via a special company. We hold the shares, and every share in that special company is backed by 1 share in the underlying company. The one I'm talking about right now is Bitfinex, and so we've launched Bitfinex on the SPV onto our secondary market, That's in beta while we make the necessary changes. We also are going to be, we've launched our second 2 deals that we're looking to launch onto that market in Q3, Q4. The second one after Bitfinex was Circle. And the third one, available to BFT token holders and priority access investors only, is the Coinbase SPV. So for those of you that don't know, Coinbase is probably, between Binance and Coinbase as being the largest companies in our industry. Very different propositions, those two, but Coinbase is pretty much the largest company in our industry. If you are not a priority access member yet, then you would have missed that deal because it's only open to those that maintain a balance of 10,000 BFT on their BnkToTheFuture.com account. If you wanted to actually get access to that deal, then you'd have to make sure that you're a member of BnkToTheFuture.com, completed your verification and certification on the account, and then go ahead and go out and get yourself a minimum of 10,000 BnkToTheFuture tokens, deposit them onto your BnkToTheFuture.com account, and then you will get priority access to deals. So if you miss this one, it's only open for a limited time, then just once you've deposited them to your account, just let support know and they'll try and get a link to you because you missed the email. But the secondary, the initial allocations of all secondary deals is just exclusive for our premium members that hold a minimum of 10,000 BnkToTheFuture tokens on their BnkToTheFuture.com account. So that's another deal that went live. Also, for those of you that are investors in AirTM, we've got ourselves a secondary allocation because Coinbase Ventures just recently invested along with some other venture capitalists, and we've got an allocation that we'll be sharing exclusively for existing AirTM investors. And then maybe if there's any left over, because it's a smaller allocation, then we'll open that up to other priority access members. And if there's anything left over from there, then we'll put it public on the platform for all members to actually get an allocation in AirTM. Also, just looking at pitches that were recently funded, Start Engine, Trustee, Abra. We closed the Circle allocation. And what else have we got here? And also a couple of updates for those around the company as well. The Huobi Korea, which is we've already, BnkToTheFuture token has already been listed on Huobi, the exchange, but Huobi Korea has now began trading in BnkToTheFuture tokens, BFTs. So for those of you that are based in Korea and want to purchase BnkToTheFuture tokens, then you can do that now at Huobi Korea, as well as Upbit and some of the other exchanges that allow for the purchase of BnkToTheFuture tokens. And also the lottery.com investors, we're very excited to announce that we just issued the security token. For those of you that don't know our history in security tokens, while many people are thinking that this is going to be the next wave in cryptocurrency, we actually were involved in launching the very first security token in the world and allowing it was a debt token that was awarded to victims of the Bitfinex hack. And it was the hack recovery security token that enabled you to convert it into equity via BnkToTheFuture.com and led to the recovery of the Bitfinex exchange within 2 weeks, whereas those of you that were victims of Mt. Gox, still 5 years on, hopefully you'll be getting your funds very soon, but it completely outperformed using a security token, the traditional liquidation process. We also experimented with a more traditional, if there's such a word, security token, which is built upon the Ethereum protocol, and that is the lottery.com, which are actually doing a revenue share. They are a very major company in terms of their involvement in lottery. But they did a security token whereby they'll be sharing a percentage of the revenue from lottery ticket sales. And because they're early to the game, there's been a few changes in the team and a few updates to the technology. So It's taken a little bit longer for the tokens to be delivered, the security tokens, but we're very happy to announce that those that invested in the lottery.com security token, you'll find them available in your Bank to the Future account, and keep an eye out on your email because this will be the first integration of a security token into the BF wallet. For those of you new to us, BF Wallet is available on iOS and Android. At the moment, it's a very basic wallet where you can hold your Bank to the Future tokens. You can connect it with your BnkToTheFuture.com account, and you can also use it as an Ethereum wallet because we've done an integration with the securitized protocol, and the securitized protocol was used in order to issue the lottery.com LDCC token, security token. You'll be able to, if you download that wallet, we'll send you an email with instructions. You'll actually be able to whitelist your address, which means that you'll be able to use that for security tokens as long as you passed our verification and certification process on the online platform, BnkToTheFuture.com. And this is really the first little synergy and deeper integration between many of these different technologies that we've been working on for an awful long time. Firstly, BnkToTheFuture.com, the securities business for allowing for you to invest and build a portfolio in various different equity and securities. Also the BF wallet, which is a wallet we developed for storing and holding Bank to the Future tokens and security tokens. And also some of our portfolio companies like Securitize that was open on our platform that we're invested in. And we use their protocol in order to bridge that so that people can actually issue these revenue share security tokens using the Securitized protocol, and then they can store them on the BF wallet, and we can do the initial fundraising on BnkToTheFuture.com. And we look forward, we've got many, many more exciting plans of what we're building and what we're working on. And we look forward to not only doing this on Ethereum, but also doing this on the Bitcoin blockchain, thanks to some of the great innovation that's happening at the protocol level for both Bitcoin and also some of the secondary layer solutions that are coming through that allow for this to happen. So we're really excited about some of those developments. So yes, keep an eye on your email, and obviously you are the first to go through this process. So please do let us know if you have any issues. Just go to the support link on our website, and our support team and investor relations team will be there to actually help you through this journey. And all your feedback is much appreciated as we get better and better at this process and the technology gets better and better. We've also are excited to announce that we just had this week with the team a quick demo of our new BF identity solution. We're actually migrating all of the verification and certification process and making it so that you can register not only as an individual, but also as a company. One of the most frequently requested features that our investors would like to see on Bank to the Future. And we've made really nice progress this week with that solution. It was great to see the demo, and also the other opportunities that come with that is that by separating our identity, we can make sure that it's our system is a bit more modular, where you can port your certification and verification to different applications that the Bank to the Future team are developing right now, including our future solutions and future things that we'll be building around the securities token market. So we're really excited. As we've alluded to in different videos at Bank to the Future Live, we are working on our existing centralized solution at the same time as developing more of a decentralized solutions like the BF wallet, where you can store tokens and hold them on your own device. And then also looking at different solutions that we can play our part in the security token industry. And now separating the identity solution allows us to integrate these different platforms and apps that we're building in a more seamless way. So we're really excited to be able to bring that to you. I'm just going to switch over to screen share at this stage so that we can go through some of the portfolio company updates. And hopefully you can see my screen, maybe not. There we go. So you can see me disappearing into a dot at this stage because there's a screen within a screen. But we're just going to give some updates before we go over to your questions. We've noticed a nice uptick in the volume and the number of people that are registering to be priority access deal members. You can see this little trend. This was deep into the bear market of the general crypto market. But we've noticed a bit of a resurgence in volume and a steadying over on the Bank to the Future token as more and more people are using the Bank to the Future token, not only to get priority access to deals, not only to get those new deals on the primary market, not only to get the access to our secondary market so that they can get the initial allocations over here. This is where the deals will be trading. You can only see Bitfinex at the moment, but we will be adding our other companies as we move out of beta. But they're also using it in order to get a 50% discount on trading fees when they're buying and selling on the Bank to the Future secondary market. We've had a lot of interest from people that are building solutions that would like to tokenize many of our holdings, and we look forward to bringing you some of the develops and the new solutions as the market grows and becomes more liquid and the demand comes through from investors. So just some of our portfolio company news at the moment. So this is an interesting one. The reason we found this one quite interesting is it actually deals with 3 of our portfolio companies in one press release. And that is that Coinbase has soft launched an international payment remittance service using the XRP token. XRP is a very controversial cryptocurrency because people often compare it to Bitcoin. And so XRP gets a lot of stick for being like a centralized version of Bitcoin. But the two are just are not really comparable. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that is our world's best shot at achieving hard money. But Ripple, the company, is obviously looking to do disruption in Swift. And the reason it's got a lot of criticism is obviously because that's got very little to do with a cryptocurrency. And people have often wondered what XRP is actually going to be used for. But Coinbase have been one of our portfolio companies, has done an integration with XRP and USDC. And so just tying that all together, USDC is a stable coin that was launched by another one of our portfolio companies, Circle. And that is the second largest stable coin that allows people to move cryptocurrency pegged to the dollar. And it's amazing if you've been watching the market at the moment in terms of the volume, the number one cryptocurrency, stable coin, which is from another one of our portfolio companies, Bitfinex. I think it went up the other day to about 20 billion in volume. Now, what's interesting about stable coins is one would think that it's non-speculative, it's actually full utility because no one's speculating on the price of Tether unless there's arbitrages, and maybe that accounts for some of the volume. But most of that is genuine use, so it's interesting to see that. And XRP is the cryptocurrency associated with another one of our portfolio companies, Ripple. And again, this is a very different thing. They're looking to do disruption in the international settlement market, trying to disrupt SWIFT, which obviously is a lot less, very few people are passionate about helping banks and compared to when they come from a crypto background and Bitcoin. But it's a different market. And so if this can be utilized in order to get some disruption in the SWIFT market, because personally, I absolutely detest sending money via SWIFT. It may not just be SWIFT, it's just international banking in general. Every single payment that I make, probably 60 to 70% of them go wrong in some capacity. And they're subject to 10 different people in the middle, all tapping away on computers, trying to get this money from one bank in one country to another bank in another country, with a central bank that can interfere in the process, or a clearing bank that can interfere in the process, or the bank that you originated from, to the sending bank, to the Swift network, to everything in between. So we look forward to seeing whether this industry can produce something more streamlined. So that's an interesting thing that's happening. Another one of our portfolio companies, Bitfinex, they just launched EOS Finex, which is, for those who don't know, Bitfinex was originally, the main trading volume is all in Bitcoin, but they also started to launch different solutions with ETHFinex. Both Bitfinex and ETHFinex make a market in the Bank to the Future token. And what's interesting is they just launched a solution whereby people can actually get paid to make a market in the Bank to the Future token. So rather than paying a fee, you actually get paid a fee for adding liquidity to the order books, because we haven't seen much liquidity in recent months, where most of our trading and purchasing has been happening through Huobi and Upbit and Bittrex and other exchanges. We hope that more people will start using ETHFinex and Bitfinex in order to do that, but they've just launched EOS Finex. And also they made an announcement that they're starting to experiment with USD Tether on the Tron blockchain. So we're starting to see these alternative, I'd call them more centralized but faster versions of Ethereum is kind of the way the market is moving at the moment. So congratulations for getting EOS Finex, and that is part of the Bitfinex company, which is a Bank to the Future portfolio company. We got another announcement from Coinbase Custody. Coinbase, so they've launched an institutional custody solution. So for those of you that are priority access members, you would have received more details about the Coinbase deal. And one of their areas that they're pushing is the Coinbase Custody solution. What's interesting is, as the next wave of proof of stake rather than proof of work coins are coming along, obviously you get rewards for staking in some of these tokens like Tezos and MakerDAO and some of the other proof of stake ones, and eventually Ethereum is meant to be going proof of stake. And that's where, if you actually stake your tokens, then you receive a reward, which I guess Coinbase is betting on becoming an institutional grade investment opportunity in the future, whereby you can simply park your coins if you're a high net worth. This is a high net worth solution with Coinbase Custody, and though I guess they'll be staking them for you and you'll receive the returns as a result. Kind of goes against the whole ethos of crypto, but then a lot of institutional players and the custody solutions are actually getting really, really good as our industry evolves as well. And finally, another one of our portfolio companies, Kraken. Do keep an eye out. Those who are priority access deal members, if you hold 10,000 Bank to the Future tokens on your account, keep an eye out as well for an announcement with Kraken. But they actually completed an acquisition of Crypto Facilities, which is a FCA UK licensed futures exchange for cryptocurrency. And they've started to notice a big uptick in volume as a result of launching futures markets in Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and various other things. So it's good to see that volume is really ticking away as we enter into these different, changing and shifting markets. So that's everything. I'm going to just stop sharing the screen now. In fact, what I'm going to do is stop sharing the screen, and I'd like to take a few questions so that we can save more time for questions. And depending how that goes, I'll also return to the screen share and go through some of the things about making deposits on the BnkToTheFuture.com platform, when you should do that, when you shouldn't do that, and also some of the new developments that you'll be seeing there as we progress. So for me, hopefully you've got some questions either from the live chat or from our different social channels. Please do share in Telegram if you've got a question, post in the live chat, or let us know in one of our other social networks. And if we don't catch it today, we'll try and catch it next week or in a future broadcast.
Yeah, we do have some questions in the live. We've also got some questions from last week's live. So We can go through those if that's cool. If that's cool with you, Si.
Great. Okay. Yeah, we've got half an hour, so let's pick up as many as we can.
Okay. So let's answer some of the ones from live already today. And first question I have here is: are you looking to work with RSK for the BF wallet, or are you mainly looking at Liquid Network and Securitize at this time?
The answer is we're looking at both. We're looking at so we've obviously integrated our Ethereum solution because by far the greatest amount of development has been happening on Ethereum in terms of the security token issuance space. But at the same time, we also believe that this might all go to Bitcoin in the end as well, and we would like to support that as well. And so one of our portfolio companies, RSK, is now getting ready with, we did a contribution and allocation into RIF, the RIF token, which can be used then to, as part of the infrastructure in order to launch the tokens via a sidechain on top of Bitcoin. Now that probably sounds like a whole load of geeky jargon for some of you that might be new to our industry. But for those of you that are more experienced, essentially it allows you to launch a token on top of Bitcoin using something called merge mining, where rather than trying to find all the mining network from scratch, miners that are already mining Bitcoin can merge mine, and therefore you can get a lot of power behind the network through merge mining rather than creating a new protocol and starting from scratch. Rootstock later rebranded to RSK, and they were really the pioneers in this concept of sidechains on top of Bitcoin. And we are watching at the moment. We don't have any active development at the securities and our Rootstock's sidechains built upon Bitcoin, and both of those could be contenders for securitization of assets on top of the Bitcoin protocol. And we look forward to seeing and looking at both of those solutions. At the moment, we're kind of favoring more liquid securities because it seems to be a little bit further ahead in terms of the solution and the developers behind that, but we're completely open and in constant communication with the RSK and Rootstock team too.
All right. Another question from live. Are there any premium companies open to US investors, as the last two, like Abra and Coinbase, have not been?
Fully completed on our model for allowing US investors to make purchases on our secondary market. At the moment, US investors that have been signed off by our US broker dealer are actually able to, US investors are able to purchase into those primary offerings. But in beta at the moment, we haven't got a model at this stage. We have been working on a model, and that is certainly the goal in order to be able to do that. But at this stage, all the premium secondary market offerings are only going to be open to non-US investors. The reason for that is because we won't be allowed to, we don't have a model right now for them to be able to sell their shares on the secondary market. We are pretty close to having a model that we're comfortable with, but in beta we won't have that model. So unfortunately, the US are not able to participate in purchases on the secondary market at this stage. Okay.
So we have some currency questions. I guess this is still related to US investors. Is the USD value of BFT USDT, or is it dollars? And when will US investors be able to add currency to their BF accounts?
So is the USD value of BFT? So which particular value are you referring to? Let me try and deconstruct that if we don't get additional information in the live chat. I'm assuming you mean when you use the Bank to the Future platform and you pay your fees on the secondary market in Bank to the Future tokens, BFT, then we give a live USD to BFT price in calculating how many Bank to the Future tokens it costs to pay for your fee. Let me try and deconstruct that into simpler language. When you make a purchase on our secondary market, we charge a trading fee. If you pay using USD or any other method, then you will pay our full trading fee. But if you pay with Bank to the Future tokens, you get a 50% discount off that trading fee. When you pay with Bank to the Future tokens, we obviously price things in dollars, and therefore we have to use an exchange rate between dollars and Bank to the Future tokens. We actually just use the API from CoinMarketCap in making that calculation. And the CoinMarketCap, how they actually get their price is, I think they aggregate it over the different markets. And we have both USD markets for Bank to the Future token and USDT markets, Tether. And so I think it's a mix of both of those in making the price. Hopefully I answered your question, but please do ask in the live chat if you wanted to go down a slightly different angle. The second question is, when will US investors be able to deposit US dollars? The technology is ready, the banking integration is ready, but at this stage, we don't have a reason to do that. The reason is because if you want to invest in a primary market pitch on Bank to the Future, then all you need to do is head over to the pitch. And when you click on the invest button, it asks you which method you want to pay by. And if you pay by card or bank transfer, you can make a transfer live in that deal, and it goes straight to the escrow account dedicated for that particular deal. So it's held in an escrow account. If you wanted to deposit it onto the platform, then the only reason to do that would be to make a purchase in the secondary market. And at the moment, the purchases in our secondary market for US investors is not open at this stage because those deals have not been signed off by our US broker dealer. And we're pending a bit more work in order to find a way to do that in compliance with US securities laws at this stage. So in beta, that won't be available, but as soon as we allow for US investors to purchase on the secondary market, when we've got a model that works in compliance with US securities laws, then we will certainly make that feature available. At the moment in beta, you can only deposit Tether, but we actually have built an integration with our banking partner whereby you will be able to deposit via bank transfers. And also we are exploring with our card payment provider how you can do that via card payments as well, all to be released. And also in the pipeline is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a way to easily transfer those in, have them converted to dollars so that you can purchase on the secondary market as we roll out a beta.
Okay, we have some questions from our live from last week. This one's about tokens. So will Bank to the Future implement a token burn in the future?
That's an interesting question, and we think it's a very interesting model, but what the considerations in making that decision is as follows. There's a very good argument that if you implemented a token burn, then the only reason to do that would actually be to treat the token as an investment contract, an investment product, and therefore it might make it look more like a security than actually a payment, rewards, and membership token, which is what it was originally designed and built to do. And so therefore we really need to wait and see and get some additional advice on how that will impact, because if it does turn it into a security, then that would mean that it could no longer trade on a cryptocurrency exchange, because it becomes more of a security than a payment method, rewards, and membership token. So that decision is very much about where the ecosystem evolves. And at this stage, we want to keep the Bank to the Future token as a full membership, rewards, and a payment token for getting discounted trading fees on our secondary market, and also through our integration with coin payments, allowing people to use the Bank to the Future tokens in any of the merchants that actually use coin payments and anyone else that wants to use that token. So our goal is not to do anything that turns that into a security and then ends up getting delisted off crypto exchanges, and no security exchanges are liquid at this stage. So I don't think that would be a very good move for us, and for those token holders either.
Thank you for that. So we have a question here about Satoshi Roundtable and security token. According to an interview with the Satoshi Roundtable, industry experts brightened the future for security token in 2019. But from the standpoint of general investors, it is not very clear. Can Simon give more clarity here and a rough idea about what security market Simon is looking at?
I'm not sure of the question, actually. So you're asking about a special report from Satoshi Roundtable? I haven't read that report. So is that what it's saying?
It's basically saying that people who are involved in Satoshi Roundtable, the industry experts, say that the future of security token will be better, but for general investors, it's not very clear what that means.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I guess better is an interesting concept. So basically, in the cryptocurrency market, we have Bitcoin and we have protocols that are looking at making disruption in the currency markets, creating an apolitical, non-country focused, and in the case of Bitcoin, our world's best shot to sell money, in my opinion. Then you have securities. So Ethereum created a protocol that allowed people to create their own tokens, and then people started investing in these tokens rather than using them. And therefore, they started to become disruption in capital markets as people started to raise funding using Ethereum and tokens. I think in the future, there is definitely going to be a market for utility tokens and for tokens that sit and produce completely different and interesting business models. At the same time, there will be a buoyant market for securities tokens. However, the utility token market is far ahead of the security token market. And the utility token market drove a lot of new people into our industry, and also a lot of scammers and problems because people took advantage of this opportunity to scam a lot of people, a lot of money out of a lot of people. Now, security tokens are coming along and saying, well, if we could do that in compliance with securities laws, there's less likely that, because there's more disclosures, there's more material information, there's more regulations around that, then it is less likely to cause people to be scammed. But it also, at the same time, ties into a whole free market versus regulated market debate. There is no doubt that the deep liquidity that came into the cryptocurrency market was as a result of the lack of regulations and anyone being able to trade, issue, launch a token, and participate in the markets. Now, when you move over to securities tokens, you get a more regulated environment, but also we have seen that regulations don't necessarily solve many of the issues that we've seen. The whole global financial crisis is an example of how regulations can be used in order to create capture and greater systemic risk that's not actually all done under the guise of a regulated environment. So this is just something that's not really going to change. It's a constant evolution that you have a new innovation that operates outside of regulations. Then some people make a load of money, other people lose money. The people that lose money go to the government and say, why didn't you protect me? And then they try and sue them. And then as a result of that, the regulators step in and say, we must protect consumers. And then you go through a phase where the market changes and moves into a more regulated environment. And then regulations are used for crony capitalism in order to create a monopolistic power in certain areas, and then you have the problem of who regulates the regulator. And that's really where cryptocurrency comes in, because then they say, well, you can create that regulated environment, but we also create an exit from the traditional financial system whereby people have choice, where they can operate in either a decentralized way or a regulated centralized way. And I'm sure this cycle will continue and continue and continue. And so while will it make the market better? It depends what your definition of better. It won't create the ginormous pump and dump schemes that we saw during the ICO market, but then that also happened under regulated markets during the dot-com boom and bust. So this is just a constant evolution, and really the only way that I think is to just take self-responsibility, to be responsible for your own decisions, do your own research, and when things go wrong, take responsibility. Things go wrong, learn from it, but I can't really get into the whole debate of whether regulations is a good thing, regulations is a bad thing. All I know is that at Bank to the Future, we have to operate within a regulatory regime, because we're not, we're not Bitcoin, we're not anonymous. We do operate within that realm and that world, and I am grateful for Bitcoin and the decentralized industry for creating a force that regulates regulators as well. So I think we're going to get a much better mix out of this. How are security tokens going to actually be better? Than it depends what you're comparing them to. So if you're talking about traditional markets, I'm not sure. They might be more open. I think the ability to take these tokens and put them on multiple exchanges rather than just the New York Stock Exchange or just the Tokyo Stock Exchange is a significant improvement. And I think also the fact that we've got a new group of innovators and financial technology companies looking to build this from the ground up means that you just kind of get a reset. Just like Netflix came along while Blockbuster was thinking in another way, you can have a reset and new building and just new competition and people doing things in a better way that's more suitable, and also integrated with cryptocurrencies, creating a great use case for cryptocurrencies as the whole world onboards into these assets that are far more accessible and far more global.
All right, thanks for that, Simon. So the next question we have here is about shares in Bitcoin Capital Venture. Can Bitcoin Capital Venture Fund be open again for priority BFT investors? How can someone invest in this fund at this time?
Bitcoin Capital is a company that we raised funding for, that is a shareholder in many of the largest companies in crypto. We don't have any plans at this stage of launching a similar investment vehicle like that. However, we are speaking with other funds that are doing stuff that's very interesting. And so if there is genuine investor demand for investing in managed accounts and funds that are making the investment decisions for you, then we can certainly explore bringing those to market. And we have many applications. And we've recently had an application from somebody that I can have a lot of respect for, that's looking to do something in the fund management, a VC fund or a managed fund. But ourselves, we're not actually looking to do that. And part of the way that we structured the fund is that they were non-transferable. All returns were made via dividends. And so we're not planning on making a market whereby you can buy and sell those.
Okay, so a question on the secondary market. If I place a buy order, for instance, at 1,000 USD plus 500 BFT, let's assume that this buy order is filled in a week later and the BF token has doubled in value. Will my buy order adapt to the new price and be 1,000 USD plus 250 BFT? Sorry.
Yeah, I got it. I guess the dev team can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of how it works at the moment is it takes the live price at the point of placing the order. And if you wanted to reset that price, then you'd have to cancel the order and place a new order. And then it would take the live price at the point of placing that order. So if you had an order open, and it got filled, then it would be the live BFT price at the point of placing that order, no matter what happens in the market.
Okay. You probably covered this one as well. This one's about buying trade on the platform, trading platform. Are they buying A shares or B shares?
We haven't actually covered that. So when you're making, actually, will be at the moment the only company that's available on the Bank to the Future platform is Bitfinex. The secondary market at the moment is Bitfinex, and I believe all of those were B shares. So in that case, it would be B shares. But when we launch our next asset classes, it will have a mixture of both A shares and B shares. For those of you that don't know, A shares and B shares just are identical shares, but A shares come with voting rights. And so what we'll be doing in the next release, as we release the next version, is it will display, when we launch a multi-asset class order, it will tell you whether you're buying A shares or B shares. But at the moment, in order to make this feasible, we're doing everything by non-voting shares. So when you actually make a purchase on the Bank to the Future platform, you are actually given a risk warning around the lack of voting and lack of information rights. And that's because we're looking at doing everything via B shares, so there won't be voting rights that come with those shares when trading on the secondary market.
Okay, thanks for that. And so I have questions about, just general questions about the company. But I do have a couple of questions in the live chat just come through now. From Heinz. On the platform, is it possible to liquidate stock holdings into your token? Is this possible regardless?
Nope. So the only way to get an exit on a company that you own at this stage is either it's listed on our secondary market and therefore you can sell it to another buyer if there's sufficient liquidity, or the company actually, either the management team buy it through what's known as a management buyout, MBO, or a share buyback, or a private company purchases, just like we did with Bitstamp, where a private company came along and purchased all of the shares at that price, or the company goes public and those shares actually get converted into publicly tradable stock, which is, I guess, the goal of some more established companies like Coinbase as they're doing their pre-IPO rounds. Yeah, so you can't trade those into Bank to the Future tokens. The only way to do that would be to invest in a company that succeeds. If that company gets to our secondary market, you could place a sell order. Somebody else could buy those. That would give you US dollars, and then you could take those US dollars onto a cryptocurrency exchange, and maybe we can make this process a lot easier, as it's not a focus right now, but in the future, if you've got suggestions around features about easily converting those into Bank to the Future tokens, then I think the technology is at a stage where we could do that fairly easily by integrating a stable coin with some kind of atomic swap service, or something like a Changelly Shapeshift or something like that. So the technology is certainly available to be able to do that, but it's still quite a long way off implementing such a seamless solution. But I think that gives us real fantastic insight into how people are thinking now, really, that they just want all these different assets to be seamlessly transferable into and out of each other. And I think we need to do the hard work in order to make such opportunities available to you as the market evolves, as liquidity increases. And I think that part of that is the promise of the security token, of being able to seamlessly go into and out of different assets. And that's certainly something we're aiming for. But unfortunately, the markets and the technology is just not quite there, ready to be able to do something like that yet.
Great, thanks for that answer. I think they're quite happy with that. So I have one question here from a couple of weeks ago. It's actually a general company question, I guess. But in terms of where Bank to the Future is heading, does Bank to the Future plan for mainnet?
Mainnet, we're actually live. We're an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. We don't intend on ever creating our own blockchain. That's certainly not a goal at this stage. I mean, you never know, never say never. But at this stage, we don't see that as our core competency or core skills, developing a new blockchain. And I'm not sure if I fully understood the questions, but mostly when I hear mainnet, it's about a new blockchain launching. But yeah, that's not something we're looking to do.
Great. So this next question here. Do you have any plans to create a program that will either share profits or pay interest through stake?
At this stage, we don't. I think there's other solutions that are tackling that market. And what we would look to do is, if somebody is, a company's getting significant traction at doing that, just like Coinbase Custody or some other newer companies, then we'd look to bring that investment opportunity for you to be able to get exposure into the equity. But at this stage, we wouldn't look at providing that particular service ourselves. We don't see it as our core competency. But you never know, as we grow and branch out into different things, then maybe in the future, not in the roadmap at this stage.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. And again, I think it's a general company question. What are the advantages of being headquartered in Cayman system in the investor position?
So for us, the reason that we chose Cayman, for those of you who don't know our background, is we originally started our vision in the UK, and it was a long time ago, before there really was a Bitcoin or crypto market. We were registered with the FCA, which is the UK regulator under our UK company, but it only allowed us in order to raise finance for UK companies with UK investors. That was really inappropriate for the market at the time, because there was no crypto or Bitcoin or there were fintech companies, but not crypto companies, which is where we focused our efforts in the UK, and there were even fewer investors in terms of, because they were all geographically focused. So we set about creating a network whereby we had a securities business based in a very globally minded jurisdiction, that also allowed us to create the structure that we needed in order to allow for the very quick creation of these special companies, and to be able to make them tradable on our platform as well. And we found the jurisdiction that was just perfect for us, and so we headquartered there. And then we found a model whereby we could compliantly integrate with different securities laws, different carve-outs, and have a network of various different brokers and securities business in different jurisdictions, so that we could compliantly onboard into these different jurisdictions. And that's the approach that we've always set out to follow, because we were thinking globally, and then we were figuring out how to do it on a more geographical focus, whereas most people just start in the country where they are based, and then they're kind of dictated by those laws. We were kind of cherry picking the right places in order to do this, and grow out a network and scale from there. So that's why we made those choices.
All right, I think we're done actually for questions today. I mean, we do have some questions in live chat. One of them is funny. I'm not sure whether it's appropriate to ask, but we can check that.
It's your call. It's your call. I can't see it.
It's about BnkToTheFuture.com. People are saying he's dead, or it's dead.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you want to comment on that, but.
If you're talking about the project, there was a project that was raised through our platform for K.im, and you'd need to be a shareholder in order to get the updates on that. So head over to the investor zone, and we're constantly asking for updates on where that project actually is at the moment, and we're looking forward to seeing where they take that next. I assume that's what they're referring to, the product K.im. So, all right, okay, that's going to do it, I think, for another episode of Bank to the Future Live. This is episode 8, and I'm glad that we actually got to take more of your questions, because we find it tremendously useful to get your feedback. We find it, it really helps us figure out whether we're on track, and also improve our communications to make sure that our investors and our community and our token holders actually know what we're working on and where we're going next, and why we're making certain decisions and why we're not making other decisions or going in other directions. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, Famida, for bringing those questions to us and moderating. And please do, if you enjoyed this, please do like this channel, please do share this video. Please do add comments, because we will return back to them next week to see if we can find additional questions that we didn't cover in the next broadcast, as we bring the latest news from portfolio companies, new pitches, and we're really excited about some of the things we've got coming through for our priority access investors, and looking forward to seeing you next week right here on. Next week will be episode 9 of Bank to the Future Live. That's about it for episode 8 of Bank to the Future Live. Thank you.